This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good evening. Thank you for joining the Kingston City Land Bank at our monthly board meeting. Today is Monday, August 24th, 2020. My name is Caitlin Armstrong, and I am the Senior Account Clerk for the Kingston City Land Bank and the organizer for our virtual meetings. Before we begin, I would like to go over a few guidelines in order to navigate this meeting as efficiently and respectfully as possible. We ask that all members of the public mute themselves for the length of the meeting, with the exception of the 10 minutes reserved for public comment. As organizer of this meeting, I reserve the right to mute anyone who unmutes themselves. I also reserve the right to pause the meeting and eject anyone acting inappropriately. The board members and staff will be in charge of their own mute buttons. Just a reminder, good practice is to mute yourself when you are not speaking in order to avoid the interference of background noises and feedback. If a board member wishes to speak, they will raise their hands and the chairperson will call on them before they speak, stating their name clearly for our audio listeners. All of our meetings are recorded and transcribed. They'll be posted on the City of Kingston's website. Thank you for your patience during this difficult time. I'll now turn the meeting over to Chairman Daniel Cantor.
Thank you very much, Caitlin. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm calling to order at 6:34. So I think we can do this pretty quick tonight. Oh, I see there's a, oh, we keep having guests. Well, Artec, do you want, oh, I see one is Dan Carey. Hi.
Well, I don't know if I missed anything. I was having trouble finding the link, and
Oh, okay. I think maybe you're on as two. We'll figure it out. So usually we do public comments at the top. Dan, I think I have a couple small updates you might be interested in, but feel free to speak now. I will be quiet if somebody would like to speak up.
yeah, I'll jump in. Hello, I'm Dan Carey. If anyone didn't know me, person trying to acquire a house. I'm also a plumber in Kingston, so it's kind of like two sides to my interest in this group. Also, the Newkirk house is the Newkirk? No, what was that? The one, it's like right down the street from my house. One of the houses you guys bought. It looks great. It's all cleared off, and it's like, it was like the cornerstone of that little neighborhood. I'm like, you can see it down there, and other people are fixing up houses down there, so it's great. I had some questions about the construction side. So if I were to apply as a vendor, contractor, whatever, and if I did work for any of these houses, would that affect, or how would that affect my ability to acquire a house myself?
That's a great question. So the house you're talking about is 174 Hasbrook. It was on our Instagram, but yeah, we had major tree and shrub removal over there to get ready for construction. And as Dan mentioned, we issued an RFQ for contractors to kind of get their basic information and have a kind of arsenal of folks to work with. As far as I'm aware, if you were to engage with the land bank on the rehab side, I don't think it would affect your ability, but we would probably have to take certain precautions to ensure, like, no conflicts of interest. But Mike might have a better answer. We'll definitely talk to our attorney about it. I'm guessing this will come up more than once, so we should definitely know. Mike, insight?
I don't have a better answer. I was just going to compliment what you said. I think we should get clarity on that and possibly even put it in the RFPs when they come out so it's clear. But I don't know. So we'll find out, but it's a really good question. Thanks.
Additionally, would you guys be looking for different crews for all three houses, or would it be like you're looking for to build a crew to do all houses, and maybe like go through like demo stage 1, 2, 3, and then rough in stage 1, 2, 3, and finish stage 1, 2, 3?
So those are kind of all options on the table right now. I think it'll largely depend on the responses we get from the RFPs, which should be issued pretty soon. So ideally, I think we would like kind of a larger firm so that we don't have to expend a ton of resources internally on tracking down subs and making calls and doing all of that hard stuff. But we also are under spending pressures just because we want to get these houses done, but also because of our grant funding that's allowing some of the rehab work to happen. So I think they're all possibilities, but basically as a general rule, as kind of streamlined as we can make this, I think is the goal. Mike, do you have anything to add there?
I agree.
Great. Yeah.
The one thing I might have missed is like, is there a like scope of work out yet for these buildings, or is it still being organized?
So the scopes are not public yet. Those will be part of the RFP as far as I know, but we have developed them internally, and again, those RFPs should be out in the next couple of weeks. Not to make you sweat, but so yes, they are.
That's always the hardest part. Once it's like, it's once all the planning, it's like, do nothing, plan, and then finally release the floodgates,
Yeah.
Other question I was asking for someone else. Are you still looking for a part-time project manager for any of these individual houses or the entire each one?
Yes, I believe we are still interested. Certainly, yeah, Mike probably has more insight on this than I do, but yeah.
Yeah, we are done. We should talk about that. It would be something gets posted on our website when we're ready to, start exploring it, but definitely that's still something we plan on.
Cool. And so you might find a contractor, right, that's big enough that provides their own project manager or whatever. But even in that case, you would still be looking for your own, like an owner's rep or another project manager of your own.
Yeah, and as a consultant, not as a full-time position, but yeah, separate.
All right, cool. Lays out massive for someone else they're wondering about. And then I'm just wondering about Rodney. Rodney, if there's anything new.
I'll get to that in a minute. Clean environmental is basically what's the deal, but we'll talk about it a little bit more shortly.
Yeah, I always just have to ask. That's it for me. Thank you very much.
Cool. So I can see there's a caller, but I can't see a name. Yeah. Either way, you don't have to speak, but if you could mute yourself, that would be good. Okay. So I think we'll move on from public comments. Dan, thank you. Not a huge ton to report this month, even though it has been very busy. Mike and me and Brian, and I think some other board members have talked about starting a fundraising committee. We think that will be a very helpful and important way to kind of diversify our fundraising streams. Currently, we are being supported by grant money from the state and a public donor, but we should really branch out into other arenas. So I think that's going to be exciting. So we will vote Well, I guess we can vote now. It doesn't really matter. There's a charter in the board package. I'm not sure if everybody got a chance to review it, but if we could, unless there's any problems, if I could move to approve the formation of the fundraising committee. Feel free to give me a second.
So Daniel, before you do that, do we have enough board members to serve on that committee?
Yes, what do you, sorry. Well, it depends if people want to or not.
Correct. That's what I was asking, yeah. So I
Yeah.
just wondered, because I'm also wondering too with the, I mean, it could be its own standalone committee, but like with the fundraising committee doing so much kind of similar work, or like, you know, kind of working, would be working alongside that. I wonder if it makes sense for that to be a standalone committee by itself. Maybe it does, I don't know.
Sorry, like versus being part of finance or part of comms.
Yeah, I mean, finance or governance, or I don't know. It just feels like, I was just wondering if we have enough capacity to have another committee. That's my question.
I think that's a good question. I think there's no real harm in authorizing its existence. We also can, and I think for this particular committee, it would be smart to try to get non-board members on it. So that's another option. I don't know
May I ask-
personally how much
May I ask
interest.
a question?
Yes, of course.
I, you know, would like to know how this funding committee would dovetail into anything that the city is already doing, because I know that that's already kind of a relationship we have with the city, and the city has, you know, basically, and you know, done a lot of fundraising efforts already for this effort. Go ahead, Michael. Sorry.
Sure, thanks. This is Mike. Just to clarify, Aneshka, you're asking whether or not the city would be contributing funding to the land bank through its own fundraising efforts, or just trying to understand the question?
No. Are there efforts in the development office to, you know, do this kind of economic development? I mean, it's just, you know, I just wonder how all of that's going to work together.
I think there's certainly initiatives going on throughout the city that support the work of the land bank, but this would be intended to be a fundraising committee for the land bank to fundraise for the land bank. And so, while something may come up, you know, opportunities for people to work together, this would just be wholly within the land bank itself. Hope that answers your question.
I think it's a great idea to have a separate fundraising committee in order to have a different source of funding. I'm, you know, super interested to see. I mean, also that's another great way to engage the community as well. You know, and give people an opportunity to support the land bank in ways that, you know, maybe they can't by. I think right now the design committee is kind of the only non-board member committee, right? Or committee that non-board members can serve on. Anyway, so I think it's great, and you know, we're such a small board that it's entirely likely that there might be one sort of liaison between, you know, the finance committee and fundraising committee or governance committee, or, you know, to maintain that communication. I think one of the main things, though, just to be really clear on how any funds raised by that committee are going to be used, so that they don't become sort of commingled with, you know, funds that are already grant funds received to support staff, or I don't know, other things associated with improving the properties before they're sold, that kind of thing. So to me, that kind of seems like one of the, you know, main points just to be careful and clear on in in documenting and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I kind of think I see that as part of the main and definitely early work of the committee, is kind of like what's the most effective way to sort of frame fundraising. You could have a kind of donate this amount pays for a bathroom, or it could be something really material like that, or this contribution will allow us to make this home this much more affordable. But I think that's why a committee is the smart thing, is they can be a little bit more sophisticated about strategizing those things. And I do see it as working very closely with comms and probably finance as well, as a public facing thing that has to do with money. But yeah. Mike, do you have additional thoughts?
No, not really. I think just to complement what you were saying, it's kind of early days once we recognize that, there's a need for it, and then it can evolve in a direction that is in concert with where everyone wants it to go. But I think having a distinct fundraising committee that's dedicated to using either restricted or unrestricted funding, right? Those are usually the buckets. But I really am excited to see something like that help to bolster the opportunities that we all have to, add to the plan for what we're going to do. So, for what that's worth, I'm excited.
And Mike, do you see yourself as being that liaison between those three departments that were named?
I would be happy to serve in any capacity that just keeps us all talking. Omari, I honestly would, wherever people think I can fit in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Because I think yeah, sorry. I was just gonna echo what you were saying. I think that makes it work, is if there is like strong coordination between those three committees. So cool.
Thanks.
I also realized I forgot to say my name, Karin Rue, when I commented earlier. So Karin Rue for this comment. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense to have Mike be the liaison between. You could even add it to the agenda as a standing thing, as to just sort of give an update, as to what the activities are. It doesn't have to be extensive, just something to maintain that communication. It's a great idea, Omari.
Right. Well, do we want to vote? Okay. I would like to introduce a motion to approve the formation of a fundraising committee.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor? Or sorry, do we have to do this person by person?
Aye.
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 Hard to keep track, I guess. Okay. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, everybody. All right.
Daniel, did you say earlier Brian? Who's Brian?
Oh, Brian is our attorney with Goldstein Hall.
Oh, okay.
He's been helping us with pretty much everything under the sun. He's awesome. So yeah, he's who we will refer to for complicated legal matters. So on the agenda is operational plan update, not a ton to report there. I think we've talked to every, if not almost every board member about the idea of strategic planning and how we kind of want to go about it. I think mostly we're in agreement that at some point a consultant will be a solid and worthwhile investment. Before we kind of get there, I think we have ongoing discussions with main funder and an additional organization in Kingston that might be partnering on various aspects of these projects. And so I think until those conversations move forward a little bit further, it's probably premature to get too far into the strategic plan. So we're definitely not forgetting about it. It's on the agenda. I just don't want to waste people's time if things, really shift significantly with these conversations. So that's kind of where that stands, I think, unless Mike has something to add. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to bring up a point. So we will need to have our budget solidified by October 1st. So I think in lieu of having a strategic plan, because I know there's like maybe still some uncertainty about what that actually would look like, I think we do need like a work plan for this next year that correlates to that budget, so that we can really communicate to folks, like Daniel and other, community stakeholders, like what's happening in a kind of broad timeline. So.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what we're doing. It's a little bit easier to forecast like the 5 homes that we have money for and like, have to do kind of versus like some of the, year out, 2 years out, thinking of that'll really depend on how these conversations pan out. But I think, so the funders are very aware of kind of the time constraints on our end. They have been, we've been talking to them weekly. They've been really, really great to work with. So I think things are moving along well there, and hopefully we'll have more clarity on this before the budget gets passed, but we're giving them everything they've asked for in terms of projections and where we can spend if they give us the money to spend. So, really sorry about my dogs. Hold on.
Okay.
So Michael, so is that something we can go over like a preliminary work plan at the next executive board meeting?
Absolutely. I think we should start to dive into preliminary budget and work plan next week.
All right, sounds good.
Cool.
So maybe, yeah, we can have something to present to that executive board for the meeting, so that then we're ready to have something along with the budget for end of September meeting.
Got it. Yes.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
And just before we move on, I have some other things to report out in the committee report, but I think that's general kind of announcements. That's all I have. Can we vote to adopt last month's minutes? They were also included in the board package. Whenever someone would like to introduce a motion, speak up.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor to approve July's meeting minutes? Aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
Aye.
Abstain?
This is Karen Rue. I'll abstain since I wasn't at that meeting, for which I'm sad that I missed it.
It's okay. We missed you more. All right, motion passes. Move on. Sorry. Mike, tell us.
Happy to. Good evening, everyone. This is Mike. I'll be relatively brief with my executive director's report. I would dig in a little bit more into the RFQ, the request for qualification process. We circulated that availability and published the availability of it pretty widely. And thank you to the mayor for putting it in his newsletter. We were in the papers. We put it on New York State Contract Reporter. Thank you, Caitlin. And the responses that have come back are pretty heartening as far as knowing that we're making the right first step to meet members of the contracting community and the trades. Spoken with tens of general contracting firms, received responses back from architecture firms, from individual trades. They're rolling in. I feel very good about it because, just for your information, what this does is save us a step. If we were to put things out to RFP, we would then have to go through this process anyway. So this is helping us to be more responsive when we do get ready to put out the RFP, which, as Daniel mentioned, should be very soon. Funding updates, I think Daniel's really kind of covered where we're at with that. I share his sentiment that we're very close to reaching a framework for some fundable initiatives that would be real and achievable and testable and be able to guide us towards kind of where we think we will be over the next at least 6 to 12 months. And I know it's been a challenge for us to all bite our tongue somewhat in reaching out to the public to tell them where we're at and what we're doing and what we plan to do. But a lot of this, I just really appreciate your patience while we got to the point where we knew what the options were and where we've solidified with dollars what we can do. So please continue to be patient with that, and we really appreciate it because I think it's very close on that front. And then my only other update would be with the county. I update you every monthly meeting on the status of those conversations, and I will briefly summarize just by saying it's now been several weeks, I believe 8 weeks, without any movement along the lines of that conversation. So I have no further updates on that one. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If not, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mari, do you have a finance update?
I don't really have anything for the finance update this month. I was on a canoe trip with work this week, and so the finance committee did not meet. And so we're going to be, I think, meeting next week. Or no, this week. Sorry, this is next week. We'll be meeting on Wednesday, so I'll have something to share with you for the next meeting. Is there anything you would add, Mike, or Amanda? No. Okay.
Okay. Governance, we did not meet. Aneshka, just while I'm thinking about it, we should probably try to clarify how we field committee members who are not on the board. I know that we can, but I don't think the bylaws are particularly clear on how.
Say that again, committee members, what?
Having committee members who are not also board members, particularly in like fundraising committee. I think the bylaws are very vague about how we can do that, just that we can.
So what we should do is review the bylaws, make sure that we include those people and what they can and cannot do, obviously.
Whatever procedures around, you know, all that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and I just, as a clarification point, the last time that I communicated with Caitlin and Mike, have all the members of the board been through ABO training?
So,
Not yet.
Karen is signed up and she showed me. And Serena said she would be. I don't know if she did yet. And Bob's getting there, right, Bob? And those are the only 3 that needed it.
Right. Just want to make sure that that's done sooner than later, because now it's getting to be later. All right. Other than that, looking forward to actually look in the direction of board development, professional development kind of efforts, which we haven't done yet. So my question actually is there money for that? Is there money for professional development of board skills?
So we're still doing the budget. I believe that could fall under consulting line item. Maybe, Mike. I don't think there's a specific line item for that.
There's
And my
no,
concern is that we also connect to the community of land banks that, you know, are around us, and in this COVID time, that can be done online. And but I don't know what is involved to do that, so I'd have to dig into that. Yeah, Mike.
sure. The New York State Land Bank Association, of which we are a member, is actually a really great resource. I believe anyone can jump on their calls. There's one taking place this week. I don't know if anyone can jump on their calls, but we are a member of that. And as part of our professional development, Caitlin and I jump on those calls and learn a lot, if that's helpful. There are probably certainly
Yeah,
other.
do you have like their announcement, or should we just go to their general website? That's usually how I look at them.
On their website is usually how I find it.
All right, great.
Yeah, I've been on those calls as well. They're wonderful people, very generous with information, and excellent resource. Cool. Acquisition disposition, that's on me. So we are working through, so last board meeting, I said that we were running title and environmental on the next 5 properties. That is, so the phase 1 reports for environmental issues have come back. The 2 commercial properties, so just for reference, the properties are 38 Post Street, which is commercial, 46 grand, which is the bar, 52 grand, 488 Hasbrook, and Rodney Street. I did it. So both of the commercial properties had some environmental issues flagged. The 3 residentials were good. And title reports we are waiting on. They were supposed to be in on the 15th. Our title insurance company has been great, but we are waiting on the city to produce some documents. So Steve, maybe you can assist somewhere in there, but we sure would like them. So we should have those back just as soon as that stuff gets done, and then we have the next 5 kind of lined up. So if there are no title issues, we should be fine to acquire those. If there are, obviously there will need to be some further investigation. That mostly is at this point, from what we know, relevant for 38 Post, because those environmental issues appear to be more significant than something that can be really easily addressed. So we'll have to work through kind of what that means for the acquisition. So that's the update on that. Otherwise, we have been, sorry, Karen.
I was just wondering, for the properties that are clear on title and, you know, through their site assessment, are those a goal to add to 2020 acquisition of those?
Yes, I believe so. Not necessarily for us to rehab like the 3 that we have right now under the enterprise grant. So there are many different ways that the disposition could go, but one of them is the RFP process, as is, and hopefully get qualified applicants who can redevelop the property on their own with, you know, some oversight and enforcement from us. So I think that's likely where those three fall, but it'll depend on the title, and I guess probably on the next round, if we have to swap in one of those for a rehab because the other ones are a problem, that kind of thing. But we have 5 that we're sort of targeted for our rehab work. So yeah. So Dan, I hope that also answers your question about where we stand with that. We're trying. Let's see. So we should have RFPs out soon. We have the RFQ issued. We've gotten good responses. We should have 5 houses under rehab by the end of this year and into 2021. And I think that's more or less the update. We've been talking to another local firm that deals largely in affordable housing and been discussing options for partnering with them on like the sales and marketing side, since they could be really integral to getting us like pre-qualified buyers and really working with buyers through the mortgage process and all of those things. So I think that looks very promising right now. We also are exploring these acquisition rehab mortgages, which is a fairly new-ish thing, but this other partner has more experience with it. And it basically allows buyers to get a low interest construction loan essentially wrapped into their mortgage that they can use to rehab and manage their project themselves rather than us having to do it and then sell to them. So all interesting, all exciting. And I hope next month we will have a little bit more to share on all of those fronts. Mike, does that sound about right?
Yep, sounds perfect.
Okie dokie. And just to get it out of the way, same deal as last month, design committee kind of on hold while these potential co-development conversations happen, because I don't want to waste people's time. And that brings us to communication. Bartek.
Yeah, hi everyone, this is Bartek. So last month, the Communications Committee introduced our draft communications plan for our properties that we plan to rehab. And we had planned a series of tabling events in the fall. So I think this past month was focused on making sure that we're, as a board, aligned with the staff on their capacity and also vision for community engagement, and then also ensure that our community engagement timeline aligns with the rehab plan for the properties themselves. So at this point, based on the progress being made on the properties, Mike has suggested that we push off any tabling or any other forms of community engagement until we have those plans better refined. Yeah, that's all pretty much from the Communications Committee this month. Serena and Aneshka, do you have anything to add?
Nothing for me.
Not for me either. That's about where it stands.
That's it, Daniel. Unless there's any questions or
Thank you guys, appreciate it. Yeah, I think we're getting very close to a point where we can kind of more responsibly engage the public. It's obviously been a process this summer to kind of getting to that. So I think I'm excited for when we get there, as I think you guys are. Well, that's kind of it for me. Please, if you're interested in joining the fundraising committee or know someone who might be, definitely email me. But I think that's all the new business, Mike.
None for me. But Omari, did you raise your hand or did
Yeah, I just wanted to say something about the budget. And, you know, for any chairs of committees, if there's, you know, any spending that you anticipate or, you know, that you think would be useful to put in the budget, if you could share that with myself and Mike, just so we can like be thinking about that as we create this budget over the next month. So I think, you know, in prior years, it had been done by the executive director without any input. So I think it'd be good for us to, if there are community engagement events or any other things, like, you know, get that stuff in there.
Super smart, thank you. Is the best way to email to you or you and Mike?
Yeah, you can put a Mike on there too, since he's more day to day, I think.
Cool.
I get my email, so I'll see it.
Sweet. All right. Anyone have anything else? You want to play charades? Okay. Well, if that's all, then I will move to adjourn.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All abstain? All right. Motion passes. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you in September.
Bye.
Right.